Greetings, comrades. The High Court in Cape Town has ruled some sections of the Refuges Act as unconstitutional. The case was brought by Scalabrine Center of Cape Town and others that joined as the Friends of the Court, that is Consortium for Refugees and Migrants South Africa, COMSA, joined as the Friends of the Court. The High Court ruled that some sections of the Refugees Act are unconstitutional. The Western Cape High Court Deputy Judge President Patricia Goliath has declared sections of the Refugees Act unconstitutional. This is according to News 24, published on the 16th of February. It says, according to the Act, asylum seekers who do not renew their visas within 1 month of the date of expiry are considered to have abandoned their asylum applications. We are dealing, as the African Diaspora Forum, with serious challenges around migrants or refugees that are on asylum document. The other day, we were visited by one refugee whose children or a child is doing grade one in some school. So the father is on a refugee status, meaning he cannot visit the country of his origin. The mother is on an asylum document. Their child who's doing grade one is born in South Africa. The school that the child attends, then he gave them up to today to produce a study permit. And we know that when the school asks one to produce a study permit, it means the parents must apply for the child's passport, uh, a passport of their country of origin. But the essence of having a refugee status or an asylum is that one cannot visit their country. So the migrant who visited our offices from Ethiopia. So if you are running away from Ethiopia, you get to be granted a refugee status in South Africa. Your wife gets granted an asylum document with Section 22, meaning there are still investigations to establish if the claim by the applicant are genuine for the department to then grant a refugee status. But then you are told that the child who has never been to Ethiopia, whose parents cannot visit Ethiopia, because if they visit Ethiopia to acquire the passport for the child then to apply for a study permit, it means one, they will have forfeited their rights as refugees in South Africa. And when they get to Ethiopia, their lives are going to be in danger. Because if you're a refugee and an asylum seeker, in the case of the migrant that came to our office, who's from Ethiopia, cannot visit in South Africa the Ethiopian embassy or the Ethiopian consulate to apply for such documents. Because if you enter, or if this comrade enters the premises of the Ethiopian consulate or embassy, is basically on Ethiopian soil. This person can then be arrested, put in a diplomatic vehicle, flown to the airport, driven to the airport, flown to Ethiopia to be prosecuted. So that's the challenge that refugees have. So we think it is wrong in our view that schools will demand a, a study permit for kids whose parents are refugees in South Africa. In any case, the kids must be added into the application or into the status of their parents for them to continue with the their studies. So the Western Cape High Court then declared that part of the refugees sections of the Refugees Act are unconstitutional. So I'm bringing this as part of the challenges that we face as we deal with the migrant communities, and of course. It further says that what it says the judge said that the essence of the Minister of Home Affairs argument was that most asylum seekers are not genuine and they use the process to avoid meeting the requirements of the immigration laws. But what I want to focus on is it says, according to the Act, asylum seekers who do not renew their visas within 1 month of the date of expiry are considered to have abandoned their asylum applications. In our offices of the African Diaspora Forum, we have files and files of migrants who are asylum seekers, who have the Section 22 documents. They've been having serious challenges in renewing them. Firstly, we were asked to advise them during COVID to send their applications through an email, and then they will be stamped or renewed. Most of them are struggling. It is even difficult to access the Desmond Refugee Center for them. So you have migrants who are asylum seekers, mostly from Ethiopia, who have been, who last renewed their Section 22 documents 3 years ago, and they are facing huge challenges. And here, what then the High Court in Western Cape says is that the premise to say, or the argument to say, if you do not renew your visa within a month, then you forfeit your right to be a holder of the Section 22 document, which is an asylum document. We find it very unfortunate in the sense that people are struggling to renew. And the final thing, I see you have a question, Comrade Norman Museko. I will address your question now. The other challenge that we are facing is that those that have been accorded the refugee status, they have difficulties, they're struggling to be granted passports, because if you're a refugee, you cannot travel to your country of origin, but you can travel to any other country. In this case, if you are from Ethiopia, you now have a refugee status in South Africa. You have a right to travel to Zimbabwe, to Botswana, to Namibia on business and so forth. So you have people that are struggling to get these passports. But of course, according to the article in the news 2024, this is yet to be ratified. The judgment is yet to be ratified by the Constitutional Court. We are not sure whether there's going to be an appeal, but that's basically what the article says. So we thought it's important that we deal with this question for the migrants that are on refugee status. I know a number of comrades from Democratic Republic of Congo who are running from conflict. They are struggling to renew their asylum documents. Some last renewed 4 years ago. Every time they go there, they fail to renew. And this makes it difficult for them even to keep their bank accounts open, because the bank will want a document which is valid to keep the bank account open. And so they are facing numerous challenges. And we hope that the department will assist us in addressing these issues, so that people find it easier to renew their asylum documents, find it easier for them to have their kids studying, so that they continue with their normal lives. Comrade Norman Musekwa says, I've got a question. Past permit assistants, are they for real, or they are thieves that are stealing money from the people? Does anyone ever get assisted from them? I said from the word go, past, I think those that are in Braamfontein, Johannesburg, I said from the word go, Comrade Norman Musekwa, that we do not work with them. I do not know what they do. I don't want to comment much. What I've said on this channel, which is on record, is that you apply or you submit your application at VFS. You don't submit your application anyway. But if you want to go through agencies, it's your call. But the one agency which is official, which is a government agency, is VFS. And we've been saying this, we have been saying again that if, say, you have difficulties in completing the form online, you can get someone to assist you. There's nothing wrong in paying someone 200 Rand or 300 Rand to assist you to complete the form. That does not amount to corruption. If you get your friend you work with, you can't complete the form, you are not computer literate, and they are computer literate, there's nothing wrong in buying them lunch for assisting you. Or you get someone at internet cafe, they charge you, or whether it's 100 Rand or 50 Rand, whatever the amount, there's nothing wrong to do so. But the whole issue is that the person that assists you, they assist you to complete the form online. They assist you to submit. You then get a confirmation that your forms were received. They give you the bank account. You go and pay. And then you get an appointment to physically submit your papers or your documents at VFS. That's the process. So the past people in Braamfontein, Johannesburg, we have no relationship with them. Please circulate this video, like this video. Thank you so much, those that continue, that have subscribed. But only 52% of the people that watch these videos are subscribed. The other 48% or so, they are not subscribed. So we appeal to you, because all the questions that you always send us on our social media, on documentation to ask, they are answered in this YouTube channel. So give yourself time. Over the weekend, you go through all these videos. Your questions are all answered on documentation. Comrade Kenneth Ndlovu says, hello, Mabhena, ngiyakubona ulihlola nyama i-Highlanders. Ngingumantengwane, Comrade Ndlovu, ibhoso uchila moya. Ya, mina ngibhoso amakhosi Chiefs le-Liverpool. Thanks, Comrade Admire Dube, Comrade Darlington Mhiza, and all of you. Please enjoy your weekend. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Stay safe. We know that other places have been affected by floods. So please do not attempt to cross flooded rivers. Rather, sleep in the bush than attempting to cross a flooded river. We used to sleep in the bush when we were young boys heading cattle, if we couldn't cross the river because it was flooded. So do not attempt to cross a flooded river. Otherwise, enjoy your weekend. Goodbye.